The year was 2017. The most popular guy in cryptocurrency was John McAfee. He was so bullish on cryptocurrency, he stated that if Bitcoin didn't hit $1 million by 2020, that he would eat his own, let's just say, sausage. The prediction did not come true, and he backed out of the challenge no one wanted to see. While, let's be for real, John McAfee is not the most sane person to ever live, but the logic and reasoning behind his prediction was quite interesting, because it did not rely as much on Bitcoin's value increasing as much as it relied on the value of the US dollar decreasing. And that is certainly not insane. We're seeing it now with the implosion of the dollar and the explosion of the Chinese economy. Almost like it was orchestrated from the very beginning. And if this plays out the way it is looking like it's going to, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you gain as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. Challenging times are coming, and you need to be prepared. Let's get it. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the hardest working channel in all of cryptocurrency. If you're new, hit that subscribe button and check the description for links you can use to connect with me. All right, guys, today we're going to be examining what in the world is going on in the world. The longer the pandemic is stretched out and dissected, the more what is really going on becomes crystal clear. While in the United States, people have been split on politics, blaming the opposite party for the problems created by the pandemic, there's a mysterious, shadowy figure in the background, watching, waiting, growing more powerful by the day. We, of course, are talking about China, the very place that the pandemic started. Guys, it's time to open your eyes up to see what has occurred. We have been okey-doked by the CCP faster than we ever thought possible. And it does not matter who you vote for in November or who wins. China is going to be a problem and a burden to the United States for quite some time. The Chinese economy was set to overtake the United States economy sometime in the next 4 years, as is. But a plan was hatched by the Chinese government to expedite that dominance. I mean, let's think about this logically. When you have two superpowers in the world, they fight. It's just what happens. If superpowers didn't fight, then that would mean there would only be one dominant country in power, and it would have always been that way. I don't see the Roman Empire or Genghis Khan running around anywhere. Do you? They're dead, and their empires, while fierce and impactful, all eventually fell. For the last 100 years or so, the United States has been dominant. We saw the USSR and Germany create dominant nations, but America basically whipped them both. But with Germany, there was not just one, but two military conflicts. With the USSR, the US stood locked in an icy stare-down contest where it seemed no one would blink, till the USSR got distracted by the jelly stain on Gorbachev's head, and then they blinked. When they opened their eyes, they went from dominant to chaotic.
Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev has been removed from power, and there are tanks now in the streets of Moscow.
Since the USSR fell, there's been no challenger to the United States militarily or economically, until now. Over the last year, people have noted the rise of China as a superpower. It's all but official at this point. But you see, in 2020, military conflict is not the same that it used to be. Like, yeah, in the Middle Ages, you could attack your enemy by catapulting a stone at their castle and causing physical damage. In the 2020s, we use missiles and drones. But physical damage can easily be replaced. We have the resources to do it, and China probably doesn't have the resources to strike us right now. But if they were to attack us, we'd have so many nukes pointed at them that they would surely never go that route. But in an increasingly technological world that makes borders disappear, China doesn't have to throw rocks at us. They can hurt us in much deeper ways. And when it comes to the disease that started the pandemic, this thing was orchestrated from the very beginning. And it isn't even really a conspiracy in my opinion. Many people believe the virus started in a lab in Wuhan. No, people don't think China created the virus in a lab. The speculation is that an animal with the virus bit a human in the lab, and that's how the whole thing began. Whether you believe that or not, there is agreement that it started in Wuhan, obviously one way or the other. So what did China do? And this is where you realize the source of the virus isn't even relevant to understanding what China has done. China locked down Wuhan internally, forcing their people to stay at home under military force. Other nearby provinces were completely locked down, and China was able to control the virus by keeping the people from Wuhan away from the rest of China. Can't really believe any of their numbers, of course, but it's apparent that they were able to contain it at a certain point. But the fact is, China pushed foreign travel for those in Wuhan. You want to go to your neighbor's house? Nah, not gonna happen. But you want to hop on a plane and fly to an international destination like San Francisco? Hey, sure thing, we got you. You cannot look me in the face and seriously say that was not an orchestrated plan by China. What else would it be? China is the second biggest economy in the world and had a ways to go to catch us. But now they may actually catch our GDP, some say by the end of this year. Because of a worldwide pandemic who hit America harder than any other country that began in China. It's like a movie script, but real life. America's very way of life was actually used against us. We love liberty and freedom and individualism. All of these things made us more susceptible to the pandemic. You don't think Chinese researchers and scientists were smart enough to know that? This chart shows the share of the global economy in early 2020. We also know the Q2 report for the U.S. economy showed its GDP growth shrank a staggering 35%. So you can look at the numbers in this chart, do the math, and China is nipping at our heels with no signs of stopping. Please think about this. Economists are now saying that the pandemic has accelerated China's growth. The epicenter for the breakout that crushed other countries' economies has came out on the better side of this crisis. If that doesn't smell fishy, then I don't know what does. Almost like they were prepared for the crisis. Again, use your brains, people. Meanwhile, in the United States, we're struggling like crazy. We just continue to get more bad news. But of course, the stock market keeps going up. Weird. But recently, Yelp reported that 60% of businesses that have closed in the United States will become permanent closures. Our way of life is changing. I don't think people have fully grasped that yet. One day, in about 5 years, you're going to come back to my channel and see I was one of the only ones telling you that this was coming. But of course, by then, you'll have to be reading it in Mandarin subtitles. Okay, but like, when do we get back to normal? While China is out there living its best life, we're being told we won't get back to normal until 2022. Meanwhile, plenty of ravaged countries from the pandemic have already recovered and are back to normal life. Not all, of course, but plenty. The easiest way to become the tallest building on the block is to knock down all the surrounding buildings. China has been great at doing that. The next target is the US dollar, which is the reserve currency of the world. This means all countries have to own our currency to do business. But it won't be long before the dollar is knocked off that spot. It's losing value by the second. Inflation is heating up. More dollars are being printed than ever before. Our government is playing right into the hands of the Chinese as we are helping them, as we are devaluing our own currency. But here is the lone bright spot. You're watching this video, so you've heard about Bitcoin. You understand its value as a hedge against market instability. Because love him or hate him, McAfee was right. The way Bitcoin gets to $1 million is with the collapse of the dollar. As Bitcoin's value goes up, the dollar goes down. And if we were to lose the world reserve currency, the value of a dollar could fall faster than anything we've ever seen before, and the country could descend into chaos and panic. Not too hard to imagine these days. And listen, I want you to hear this. I don't want the dollar to collapse. People will get hurt. People will lose everything. I don't want this doomsday scenario. But unfortunately, in my opinion, the wheels of progress have begun turning in this direction. There's nothing we can do to stop it. What it all boils down to is this. If this nightmarish but likely scenario occurs, you're going to be glad that you own BTC. Could be the only thing keeping you afloat. Speaking of a medical crisis, I do want to take a quick look at Clintex. This is a project that is actually extremely relevant to today's video, as it is a scalable blockchain platform built for clinical trials. You may not know this, but clinical trials have been using decentralized technology since 2016. Also, thank you to Clintex for sponsoring today's show. But when it comes to use case, I don't even really feel like I need to make an argument for it. Spend an entire show shoving that info down your throat. Our medical infrastructure is clunky, and trials can take too long and, even worse, be unreliable. But blockchain changes that. And while the timing of the pandemic has been terrible and basically ruined 2020 for most of us, timing for clinical trials on the blockchain could not be any more timely. Their team's extremely transparent with all their LinkedIn profiles hooked up. So like, they're real people with lots of experience in the world of pharmaceuticals. Way more experience That time you sold your mom's Ambien to the neighbor for $5 when you were a teenager. I saw that. We're talking major pharmaceutical players. The plan for the token, CTI, is that it will be a micro license for people involved in any way with these clinical trials. It will cost a whopping $250,000 to purchase a full license for access to their platform. With sound tokenomics that don't allow for dumping by the team and also includes a deflating token supply, Clintex could be a solid pick for the future. If you want to find out more about their token, you can visit clintex.io. Round 1 sold out fast, and it's now on the Tier 2 sale. Of course, do your own research, but I do feel like this project is worth giving a shot. That's a vaccine joke. I know, it's hard to know a good vaccine joke without that picture of Bill Gates smiling in that creepy way that he does. But now it's your turn. What do you think about China's involvement in the pandemic? Do you believe that they orchestrated it or took advantage in any way of what was occurring? Let me know down below in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to smash the like button and hit subscribe to become a member of the Bit Squad. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. BitBoy out.